Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to my virtual campfire. Thanks for joining me today. Got a question for you. How bad are RV sales right now? Well, I guess it depends upon who you ask and what they want you to believe. But there's no arguing, that sales of new RVs have come way down across the board. But what about the used RV market? Where is it heading? And where is it now? And how does the used RV market line up with the new market? To help sort it all out, I went over to my friend at PPL RV SuperCenter, Mr. Scott Stonehill. Now, PPL is a Wingman approved dealer, and I trust them. I really do. And whether you're buying an RV at some point in the future or you're considering selling, I think you'll have a better handle on the used RV market by the end of today's video. By the way, if you have any questions or comments about buying or selling used RVs, feel free to post them in the comment section down below, and we'll see if we can get you some answers. Let's get started. Well, it's been a while since you and I have visited, in fact, several months, and I know that we're approaching the spring of 2024, kind of in it, if you will. How has PPL fared over the last 6 to 12 months? How have things changed? Because I know that the whole RV industry, sales-wise, has not been so good the last 6 to 12 months. How are you guys doing?
We're not doing too bad. If you look at, our same store comparisons, we're down about 8%, which if you look at, nationally, that's half of where most of the dealers are, at least what's been reported. So, I think we've had a pretty successful 2023. And we're looking forward to an even better 2024. I think we're set up just right for more growth and also just to take advantage of the market that's out there right now, because I think the consignment industry for us is continuing to be strong. We're getting more and more listings every day. Our inventories are growing, which then only helps us capture more leads and close more deals. So I think it's going to be a great year for us.
I can only imagine. There are so many people. I mean, in my Facebook groups, we've got if you want to advertise, you can, but you have to do it a certain way on Facebook with us. But there are a lot of people trying to sell their RVs, and I would think that people are knocking on your door saying, hey, help me get out of this thing.
That's true, and we're seeing our lead count grow each month. In fact, we just had a meeting with the seller group, and our seller group is the team that helps bring in these units for these folks that want to get rid of them. And we've had an increase in the number of leads coming into the dealerships, and our teams are working actively with all of these sellers, trying to get them the maximum amount we can possibly get for them in the market today. And we're running into some challenges. During COVID, as you and I both know, there was a limited amount of new inventory out there. The inventory that was out there on the market sold at a very high price, and a lot of those folks chose to do financing, and they find themselves in a negative equity situation. We have a program that helps them limit that exposure but with our consignment program and how we work. With only a 10% commission, we're able to get them more money than a traditional dealership would. So that's worked out well for us, and that's been our model forever and ever. And we're never going to change that. We've kind of perfected that. It's our secret sauce, and we're going to continue to help people exit the industry or exit the lifestyle if that's their choosing. But we also have lots of buyers out there that are looking for that bargain on that pre-owned piece right now. And so with our inventories growing, we've got a lot bigger selection for them this year than we did even at this time last year.
It would seem to me, not trying to be ugly, but it's not a pretty time as a seller because there is so much inventory. It's a better time as a buyer. So it's kind of the tables have turned, so to speak. Now it's in favor of the buyers and it is the sellers. What kind of stories are you hearing? Because I think many of them are regretting putting little or no money down when they bought that RV, and now they find themselves, like you said, in a negative equity position. How can you help them get out of that? Because at some point, don't they just have to realize that they are upside down? It's not going to get any better.
That's true, Alan. And what we do is, we have the data available. We do thousands and thousands of transactions over the years, and we're able to look at a particular unit that they have and compare that historically to what we've been able to sell in the past. And we take, kind of the shorter version, meaning, the last 6 to 8 months, because that's probably more realistic than 3 or 4 years ago, right? Because we know what things were selling for 3 or 4 years ago. The more realistic number now does put them in a bit of a negative situation. But I think by being honest and upfront with the seller and letting them know, here's where we're at, here's what we feel we can get for you in the market today, here's the negative that you have in this unit, the fact that we're only going to take 10% of the selling price is going to limit your exposure, where if you sell this outright to a traditional dealership, you may, let's say, be 20,000 upside down on a particular unit. Let's use a motorhome, for example, because higher prices, right? You may be 20,000 upside down. We may be able to limit that to $6,000 to $8,000 out of pocket rather than $20,000 out of pocket. When people are looking at how much am I paying every month, how much am I paying for insurance every month, how much am I paying to store the unit every month, how much am I paying for maintenance on that unit when maintenance is required, those costs continue to build month after month after month. And if we take those factors into consideration, sometimes that pain of writing that one check to get out from underneath all of that is worth doing, rather than waiting where the gap gets bigger, the expenses get higher, and then we're looking 6 months down the road and it's costing more money for that seller to unload that unit.
I see that there's probably, I'm just supposing, there's probably a shock factor with a lot of sellers when they find out what the real market is. And I always tell people, look, PPL only gets paid when they sell, really sell your RV, and they get paid 10% of whatever they sell it for. They want to sell your RV for $1 million. They want to sell it for as much as they can get. They're not trying to cut your head off. And that helps them understand that you are incentivized to sell it for as much as you can. But the reality is that used RVs are not what they're bringing a year and a half ago.
On the new products that are out there, because that pricing also affects the pre-owned. The manufacturers are trying to hit a certain price point, and in order to do that, they're going to have to bring costs down on the units that they're manufacturing right now and then delivering to dealers. So one way to do that is, number one, you either find cheaper material, right, to build them with, or you take amenities out, you take features out, and just don't talk about those features, right? Maybe that was a feature that was in a 23 and a 22 model that now is not in a 24. So they highlight the features they did put in, but they don't talk about the ones that they took away. So those price points now they can hit, but what that does is it also affects the pre-owned market out there, because they're comparing that particular floor plan, that particular make and model with what's out there in 24. Well, I can buy a new 24 for this, not taking into account that there may be 2 or 3 features that are not there in that 24 that were in those 22s and 23s before. So those are things that the manufacturers are doing to try to hit price points. And then there's also some scuttlebutt out there, and I don't know if it's true or not here to tell you that it's going to happen, but there is some talk out there that they're going to go ahead and introduce 25s very early this year. I don't know if that'll happen or not. I hope they don't, but that's the talk that's out there in the market right now, is that they may introduce 25s as early as April.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So it would seem like to me, though, if I were a buyer wanting to buy a good RV and save money, that instead of buying a 24, yes, or even a 25, yes, they're brand new, but they may have been, scaled back, like you said. So if you're buying a 20, 21, a 22, something like that, it may have a whole lot more of the amenities that are now disappeared on the new model, and you save the money. So there's like a double benefit maybe to buying a used RV now.
That's correct. And so those are the types of things we try to let our buyers know, that when they're looking at a pre-owned, we try to identify those features that may be showing up on a 21, 22, 23 model that we have on our lot that may not show up in a brand new unit today. So those things happen all the time, but manufacturers are smart. They understand that price sells, and they try to hit those certain price points on a particular type. Whether it's a stick and tin, whether it's a fiberglass sided trailer, whether, what floor plan it is, how many slide outs does it have? Maybe they're going with manual stabilizers instead of electric stabilizers, things like that. So, there's a lot of those types of things going on with the manufacturers right now that they're trying to hit those price points.
Buying a new RV is fun and it's exciting, and buying a new RV can make a lot of sense for the right person, but new RVs depreciate a lot. I know you know that. And for many people, buying a used RV may be a better choice. My friends at PPL know the used RV market better than anybody else does. And as you heard from Scott, they keep a very close eye on the new side of the RV market and what's happening there as well. Bottom line, PPL is dialed in. Whether you want to sell your RV, you want to buy a good used RV, or you just want a better understanding of the market, they are a fantastic resource. As mentioned earlier, I trust PPL. I think you can trust them too. A link to them is in the description down below. And yes, PPL is a member of the RV Dealers I Trust network. Of course they are. Do give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon. For now, the Wingman is out of here.